Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Before you chase yield, listen to what Hugo actually said about mXRP. That's right, Flare CEO Hugo Philion had some interesting stuff to say about that product and why Raoul Pal wants you to zoom out before this bull run shakes you out. We're going to get into it. Happy freaking Monday to each and every one of you. Welcome to the live stream, a late live stream, but got to get it in. Got to fit in where you can get in, So there it is. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That'd be super, super cool. You know how we do? We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers as we have viewers in the stream. Get a little context. I'm gonna give you a little context and a little history on why I have decided to go in on XRP. What I mean by that, calling it out for what it is, just speaking the truth. So we'll get into that as well. Do me a favor and hit the like button. That'd be really, really, really cool. What's going on, Rupert? How are you, bro? Happy Monday to you, my guy. So we're going to get into that a little bit. And again, finally, I don't want to say I feel vindicated because I didn't need vindication, but it was interesting to hear Hugo in that interview with Paul Barron um, speak on this particular thing that I've been going in on. And I'm going to, do some stuff on X and can continue to do it until the people own up to what it actually is. Own up to what it actually is. Speak the truths in the terms, conditions, in the docs. Speak the truth about what that product actually is. It's not a yield bearing token. It's not a yield bearing token. It's a token that tracks yield. It's not a yield bearing token. So it's a NAV product. It's basically a certificate, a debt instrument, not a yield bearing token. So there's that. But again, all the information that I have provided by way of the documentation, what Midas actually says. So just understand that. Just understand that. That's where I get my information from. I mean, it's not made up information. It's from the literal documentation. We did a live stream where we literally showed you us going to the document, taking the document, put it in ChatGPT and say, what does this mean? Literally, what does this mean? What does this, because it's all legalese stuff. What does this mean? And what does that mean? Literally copy and paste in the text to find out what the product actually is. So we'll get into that as well. Raoul Paul has some interest. I'm telling you, did you guys check out the I don't know if it's his latest one, but I think it's his latest video. Him and Julian Patel going over the everything code. Stuff that he charges thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to people. Guys giving it up free to the community. Him and Julian Patel. That Julian Patel dude, good night. That bro is smart. That dude is smart. That's how smart he is. You got to emphasize. I mean, what the world? That dude is really smart. Raoul is lucky to have him. Dude is really smart. I'm telling you, he is really, really smart. So, man, did you guys watch that? It's like an hour and 17 minutes. Did you watch it, or are you just kind of in here, just Coin Market Cap says, "Are you on the journey of becoming a sophisticated investor, or no?" Just playing around here because this is just something. It's not going to get to 100 trillion in market cap. It's just something. Or are you on a journey of becoming a sophisticated investor? I know in our channel, in the Crypto Caesars fam, we're on that journey of becoming a sophisticated investor. Not playing around here with the once in a 3 generations lifetime opportunity. We're not playing around here. We're becoming a sophisticated investor. We're reading the books. We're attending the webinars. We're taking the classes. I sound like my old mentor, right? We're on the journey to becoming a sophisticated investor. Yeah, Pookie Pookie. What's good, my guy? Yeah. Hugo himself called out this product, this mXRP product. Yeah. Yep. 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 And that's after I called it out. But in any case, he was aware of what it is and what it is not. Just understand that. If you understand what it's not, fool. But for context, history of me going in on this product. Why are you saying this about this product? Why are you going to do? The initial impetus for me going in on this product was calling out to XRP community members who would constantly dig on Flare Networks, Hugo and Flare Networks, for capturing the XRP community to do something on another chain, to get the XRP holders to do something over there. Constantly posting on X about that. Literally had a spaces and invited Hugo on the spaces in an attempt to discredit, ultimately, under the guise of you learning more. But when you make a statement like, well, how do you get yield? I mean, technically XRP, you can't get yield on XRP. And then this product comes with the sales job. This mXRP comes with the sales and marketing job, talking about a yield bearing token and no questions. No, where's the yield coming from? Not one. No cost, no throwing caution to the wind about mXRP. Why? Because the sales pitch is that it's going to be on an XRPL. That was, in my view. I don't know the dudes over there at Midas. I'm sure they're nice guys. But you can't convince me otherwise that is not a sales job. You can't convince me otherwise. Because in the end user is the XRP holder. And if you look at the product and you look at the structure and you look at everything around it, the holders are going to lose 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times. Period. Full stop. That's what's going to happen. It's not if, maybe, or any of that. It's not maybe. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 times it's going to happen. Loss for the XRP holder. Why not just wait? XRP holders want just wait. The Firelight launches. Stake XRP, stake your XRP, FXRP, stake your FXRP, and get your yield there. You know what the product is. Why are you messing around with dudes with no licenses and no supervision? Like, what are you doing? Why are you messing around with dudes with no licenses and no authority? It's no supervision. It's no supervision. I mean, here's what I've been noticing on X. The people from Axlar and Panos and Vet, they're posting, yeah, just go read it here. Just go read it. They're not sharing the legal terms. They're not sharing the legal risk. They're not showing those documents. I have the links for all those documents. The second someone tries to challenge me on what mXRP is, I will share the document in the paragraph. It's right there. But what they're hoping is people won't take the time to do the due diligence, that they'll just get hoodwinked and enamored with yield. And they won't do the due diligence. It's a setup. It's a setup. I'm not saying it's a scam. It's a setup, and it is heavily weighted to the issuer and the professionals and their tooling. Not some average person who's been waiting for 12, 13 years to be able to do something with their XRP and get some yield on it, be able to lend and borrow against it, all that kind of stuff. Been waiting for forever. Preying on, when I say preying, Prey, those dudes over there are preying on the XRP holder. Bottom line, You can't bring a product to market that 70% of the time you're going to lose if you get rid of your valuable asset that is XRP. How, explain that to me. I'm telling you, 65 to 70% of the time because of the structure. Meanwhile, meanwhile, they got the asset. They got the valuable asset. You don't have it anymore. You just gave it up for this thing. And by the time the NAV price is realized, minus these fees and everything, 65% of the time you're going to have less XRP, not more. And then you throw in the fact that they're in the documents, they're saying that they don't have license, they're not required to have a license, and they are operating without any supervision over there in the EU. Like, I challenge you to ask me for the documentation. Well, you don't need to go by my words. Ask me for the documentation. None of them will ask for the documentation. None of them. None of them will post right underneath the yield the terms and conditions, the final terms for redemption, issuance and redemption docs, the legal risks, the disclaimer. They're not posting any of that. They're posting metrics. And so somewhere along the line, someone is not fully understanding or are fully understanding and are misrepresenting. It's one or the other. But it is on us as individuals to do our homework and do our due diligence on this thing. But again, for context, I started down this because I was calling out panels and I was calling out vet for rushing to this product after they tried to discredit another project doing another thing on another blockchain for XRP holders. Even statements like, it's just better to keep yourself on the cold ledger and just keep it there. But now that this promise of some metric on the XRPL, then, oh, okay, yeah, there is a such thing as yield. There is this thing. Oh, where it comes from, there's people, they're managing it. What's the risk of someone else managing that stuff for you? What is it? Has it been disclosed? Who's custodian? Where's the questions? I'm asking. Where were your questions? Who's cussing it? Do they have a non-rehypothecation clause in the documentation? What is capacity to redeem XRP? What is that? What does that really mean? The capacity to redeem. Here's what that means. We don't have to redeem an XRP if we don't want to redeem an XRP. There's no metric. There's no table. There's no foundation. There's no benchmark. It's discretionary. So just because you put instant redemption in crypto, you just title something. What are you going to say when they give you dollars back in USDC instead of XRP? What are you going to say? But you said I can get XRP. And then they're going to legalize you with capacity. And even if they do give you XRP, it's a 70% chance that it will be less than what you put in. 70%. Why? Because of the structure, man. Because of all these fees. This is heavily weighted to them, the issuer, and them, the professional market makers, especially. What do you think they're trying to do? Give the yield to you? I mean, come on already. The structure is not great. First of all, in essence, it's a security. It's a debt instrument. It's a security. Why are you holding it? Are you an accredited investor? And they got wording in there that says we're not regulated because we don't have to be regulated. We don't have licenses or regulation because we don't have to. We operate with no supervision. But if other regulators decide that that's not cool, then they'll be able to do that. They'll be able to say, yeah, that's not cool. That is, in essence, saying, there's a chance that this thing, might not be here because of regulatory stuff. And what's going to happen to your XRP then? Because they have it. And then they have in their back pocket, it was based on the capacity to redeem back to XRP. There's no capacity. There's not enough to give you. They're just legal. They're just doing some legalese stuff. I mean, it is clear as day if you're willing to take a chance. I mean, take a few minutes, 30 minutes to look at it. It's all there. I can't make it up. It's all in the documentation. I mean, do you have ChatGPT? Get yourself ChatGPT 5 thinking, isn't your assets worth the time? Aren't they valuable enough to find out? Get ChatGPT for a month and cancel it just to find out. just to dig into it. You can do what I did. You can copy and paste. You can say ChatGPT 5. What does this mean? I just pasted this thing from the terms and conditions, from the prospectus. What does it mean? Is this a good thing for an XRP holder or a bad one? Then go further. Who wins in this? Is it more beneficial to the issuer and the professional market makers, or is it more beneficial to the average retail XRP holder? Just ask. Find out for yourself. Do some digging. I promise you, if you ask a lawyer, they'll tell you. The lawyers will be all over that. All over it. But anyway, I digress. You guys probably don't, who am I? I'm just some dude on YouTube, right? Let's take a listen to this. Yes, what you guys probably saying, you're just some dude on YouTube. And then to top it all off, you got someone now making political posts, claiming hate and division. That's when you know there's nothing left. Like when you got nothing left, you go to, hate and division. Yeah. All right, let me share. Oh, let me share with sound. So you can take a listen to Hugo. You could just listen to Hugo. Maybe you don't. I get it. I'm just some bald dude. Listen to Hugo. All right, let me get to the right minute here. Paul asked him about it. This is a little before the question, but this is another thing that you want to hear as well. But this is not about it. Anyway, you want to hear this part as well.
And that bothers me a lot. The huge difference between that and Firelight is
Oh, what happened? I put it back here and it went back too. Okay, let's do it again.
calls will benefit. And I think that then becomes very, I guess, synchronous, whereby the more capital there is in the system, the more capital it attracts.
Yeah. Do you think that we could see, because XRP has, it's historically been seen as a, primary payment rail. Do you think we could see the combination of what you're doing with Firelight FXRP kind of changing the narrative toward XRP being a yield-bearing DeFi asset? In other words, just a shift in the dynamic.
I mean, I really hope so, right? Because that's really beneficial for XRP holders.
Yeah.
It means that more people want to hold the token, right? That's a really nice thing.
I think it's a great thing. Beneficial to the XRP holders. It's a great thing, right? Talking about Firelight. Because you could just stake for all the safe people out there. You just stake. You don't even have to do all this other stuff. Now Illuminite's got it. You know, you go to the thing, you get a seed phrase less wallet. You go to the thing, you just click a button to stake. Staked it. That's it. You don't have to be worried about other stuff. It's easy. You can use the Google and the Apple thing also for all those people talking about. I don't want to do a C phrases, even though I'm saying this C phrase less. Whoa, all right, no, give me the Google and the Apple thing. I'm comfortable with that. You got the Google and Apple thing. Next you know, you got a wallet. You just click a button, to stake. It's it. I don't know when it's coming out. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks from now. Bye, like.
And I think overall it could be beneficial for Ripple. I mean, if I'm sitting on the amount of XRP that Ripple is sitting on, I probably would like to be able to get yield on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Why not?
Especially if one day I'd like to do an IPO.
Ah, yeah, yes. We must bring that up, of course.
It's
Which
coming
is,
here.
it's
Yeah.
coming. I think it's just a matter of time. Obviously, okay. So we talked with the Axelar guys last week. They launched mXRP over in Seoul, and it's a similar yield generating plan. How does Flare's approach differentiate from someone like what Axelar is trying to do?
Absolutely. So I think it's really important to distinguish between products that effectively are market-facing products, meaning, okay, so if you take Doppler or mXRP,
Yep.
those are essentially vaults into which you put your XRP, and then effectively an asset manager who may or may not, and I think in both of those cases does not have a license, then manages your.
I mean, they he thinks in both of those cases they don't have a license.
Money in markets, both on chain, I think in the case of mXRP,
Let me say that.
and off chain.
Let me show that again.
Effectively, an asset manager who may or may not, and I think in both of those cases does not have a license, then manages your money in markets, both on chain, I think in the case of mXRP, and off chain in the case of Doppler. And I have a real huge issue with this from the fact that it's essentially TradFi, but without regulation.
Yeah.
And that
It's essentially TradFi without regulation. Question: why would Hugo bring up that and no license? And then later on in here, he's going to talk about they're eventually going to have vaults in an asset manager. Later on in this conversation, let me go over here. Later on in this conversation, he's going to mention. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. We're going to have vaults and managers to manage that stuff in the vault. Why would he bring up without regulation and no licenses? Would you bring that up and then turn around? Question: would you bring that up and then turn around and do the same exact thing for the vault thing that you're doing? Like, what do you think? What do you think? Or do you suspect that it's probably going to be different? What's going on, Stony Bones? How are you, my friend? Raphael Demore is in the building. What's up, bro? I mean, what do you think? Again, for my homework and my due diligence and my research from pulling the documentations. It's a product that is heavily weighed to the advantage of the issuer, slant the custodian, and the professionals who know how to deal with iNAV, slant nav. They know how to do that. They know how to adjust for fees and everything else. They know how to word that in a way that someone has to be on the losing end somewhere, right? Market makers are not in the business of losing money. They're not just in the business of creating a market. They're in the business of making money. Someone has to be losing money in order for them to make money. You understand? These are the people. These are those are the experienced professionals with a TradFi product that they are intimately familiar with. They know how to win with the product, and they have to have someone on the other end who's losing. Like, for me, it's as simple as that. It's right. I want the holders of an asset to win, not a blockchain in which I have zero, nada, none, no thing to say about the advancement of the blockchain. None. None. Zero. Do I want the XRPL to win? Yep. I can't. It's not much I can do about it. I hold an asset. I hold other assets where my opinion and how I feel about a proposal is valued. And I get to vote and have a say, have a discussion, offer differing views, differing opinions, offering perhaps a better way to do a thing. We don't have that as XRP holders with the advancement for any kind of advancement of the XRPL. There's a gate there. Bottom line. What's going on, Stephen Williams? How are you, my friend? Keyless is in the building. The Lady of Crypto is here. What's going on, man? What's going on, Mastermind 5? How are you? Chainlink won the Swift wall. What are we going to do? Chainlink won? I'm not sure. I know what I'm going to do with my XRP. I'm going to figure out ways to get yield on yield on yield. I'm going to figure out ways to grow an ecosystem that is building for me, the holder. That's what I'm going to do. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. And then pray that RippleX Devs comes around to actually doing some type of light smart contract thing. I don't know what it'll do. All right, let's continue listening. I didn't know that Hugo said this about the mXRP. Continue listening. It's interesting. Let's continue.
That bothers me a lot. The huge difference between that and Firelight is Firelight doesn't do anything other than what it can't do anything with the funds that you haven't agreed to at the moment that you put the funds in. So when you stake to Firelight, you are staking to what's known as an ESS. Mm-hmm. And the ESS might say, this ESS is ensuring against an exploit on a particular pool on Ethereum in Aave. And that money sits there and earns yield from that pool until you either ask for it back or the insurance term expires, right, or there's an exploit and Aave calls for the funds. This is like hugely defined. And there's no ability for Firelight team to take the money out of the pool and play with it in DeFi. It's just
Yeah.
it's programmatically not allowed. And this is a categorical difference between something like Doppler and mXRP, which are effectively hedge funds.
Again, this effectively hedge funds, right? This is the same things that was eventually discovered what that was going on over at Celsius. So again, I'm laying out the documentations. I'm asking ChatGPT questions. I'm sharing that with the community. That's all you could do. And I challenge you to do that. It's 3 or 4 documents that you need. Read through them. You don't understand something, it doesn't make sense. Copy it, paste it, and ask ChatGPT 5, preferably thinking, what does it mean? Like, what does that mean? Then come to your own conclusions. I'm just sharing. If you watch my live stream, you know that I just went to, I literally went to the terms and agreement, to the prospectus, whichever one, and copied it, and I'm like, what does this mean? Put it in ChatGPT. I read you all my questions so you could see what I was saying, right? See if I was leaning to kind of sway the way ChatGPT thinks, or maybe ChatGPT just wants to appease my thinking. I shared the whole question, the whole asking, all of it with you guys in the live stream, right? That's what I did, right? Right. That's what I did. It was right here. Right here. That's his thumbnail. Expecting XRP back. Read the fine print. That's what I did in that video. Right. All right. So again, that's Hugo. Let's listen to Hugo a little bit. Then we can get into Raoul Pal. Hedge funds, effective hedge fund with your assets. They got all the terminology and all the legalese in there that says, we're probably going to lose money. And any money that we do make, by the time you redeem it and we get minus our fees and the NAV slant INAV, you're going to get, most likely, you're going to get $1 or a stable coin. It won't be the value, most likely won't be the value of your XRP, because getting XRP back is going to be based on capacity, and it's completely at our discretion what that means. It is completely at our discretion as to what that means. There's no formula. There's no benchmark. There's no transparency that says, oh, wait a minute, you do have the XRP. I want my stuff back. I'm talking about this transparency. I mean, to me, it's very, very obvious what's going on here. They're appeasing, in my view, appeasing to the desperation of having something on the XRPL, to the detriment of the XRP holder. And I promise you, if you know a professional, if you know someone who works at a hedge fund, if you know, I don't know if you're going to probably meet a market maker, if you know an attorney, get the documents, send it to them. They'll see it right away. Like, it's so obvious to me that is so heavily swayed to the benefit of the issuers, custodian, the professional market makers. Like, it's so obvious. We can't, if the assets are valuable to you, can we really just trust me, bro? Can we really afford to do that now? 2021 shortened cycle, we didn't get a full bull. Most people round trip to 2017 one. Can we really afford that now? Even with Firelight, I'm not putting all my XRP in Firelight, especially not day one. I will be putting some of my XRP there, but I will more than likely be doing, more DeFi stuff because I understand it more. But we get a chance to do that.
That you deposit your money into, that that can on any given day do whatever they want with that money.
I mean, think about this. This is a public statement this dude's making. Can any given day do anything that they want with that money? I wonder who's going to get on X and say, does Midas or Hyperrhythm or whoever is custodying the asset, do they have in writing a non-rehypothecation clause? In writing that you and I can read and see.
And Firelight, which is a protocol that offers economic returns.
Yeah, and I think the key here, when you look at the variations, I'm showing the Firelight website right there.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. Nice.
If you guys want to learn a little bit more about it, just jump over there because it's enlightening. We've had we got to get the Firelight team on, actually.
Absolutely.
That's what we got to do. We got to bring
and to be clear, there will be products like Doppler and mXRP on Flare. These are called vaults, right? This is a standard thing in DeFi across all of the chains now.
Mm-hmm.
And vaults have what's known as a risk manager, essentially, a person that takes the
I think in mXRP they're calling them risk curators.
Exposure on your behalf. And those vaults can do things on chain in the DeFi ecosystem that they're on. They can bridge to another chain using a bridge like layer 0 and go and exploit yield somewhere else. And ultimately, these are strategies that exist. But I think it's really important that people are very, very clear about what this is. So it's not fair to say that something is staking when when you're actually investing in a hedge fund. Now, I don't have an issue with vaults. I just have an issue with the way they are portrayed. And there will be vaults on Flare. We are working with some of the biggest risk curators in the industry. Mm-hmm. Much bigger than the products, that much more well known, at least, than the people that are managing the vaults for our competition. Well, not even our competition, but because I would say that Firelight is categorically different to those other products.
Right.
But there are vault managers in the ecosystem that manage hundreds of billions of dollars. Neither of those vault managers are managing mXRP nor Doppler. So, we will have vaults on Flare. You will be able to deploy your Flare. You will be able to deploy your stables. You will be able to deploy your FXRP. But we will also have completely decentralized protocols like Firelight.
Right.
So again, you understand that? You understand the difference there? You understand the difference? And again, for me, I believe, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in these meetings, but I don't think there's any shot that you bring up people operating without a license, people operating without regulation, and then bring a vault and people on who are not going to have a license and not be in some way, shape, or form regulated. You can't call out a thing and then bring, right? Do you understand? That wouldn't make any sense. What's going on? Our girls, Gargiris from Australia. What's good? How are you, my friend? Appreciate you checking in. So anyway, just wanted to share that. It's out there for people to know, to learn, and understand what it is, and for people to come to their own conclusion about it. This is another not cool thing. Let's see. Where'd that come from? Do I have it? Maybe I don't have it. I thought I did. Let's see something. Let me I thought I had that. Did I save it? This is not cool. Mickey B. Fresh did a nice little video too, I'm told. See if it's still up. Somebody from Axelar is like, I don't know why people are comparing mXRP to FXRP. Here it is here. So this is the Axelar. Saw multiple threads comparing mXRP to FXRP. Generally confused as to why people are comparing a yield-bearing token with a non-yield-bearing token. The reality is that that is not a yield-bearing token. That's what the challenge is. mXRP is not a yield-bearing token. So Flare is all about connecting. It's sad to see some Flare community members spreading this hate and division. See, that's politics right there. We don't have anything to prove your point and documentation. You're resulting in those kind of comments. That's not cool. It's just not cool. All right, so let me find Hugo. Let me find my guy, Hugo. Hugo. Let me find Raoul Pal. I'm telling you, this part, gee whiz. It's kind of long though. Starts around minute 45, minute 46. But it's really good for those
Today's
who
video
what's
is
going
sponsored by
on.
Figma.
Some of you wondering, for those of you wondering why people exit in the market and all that kind of stuff. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna start at minute 45, but the really good stuff starts at minute 46. Let me see if some new people checked in that I missed. What's going on, Rick Cisneros? Rick says MXRP peeps never say institution grade investing because it is not. It is almost similar to Celsius, just hoping the company will do the right thing, giving the benefit of the doubt and your XRP. All right, let's listen here.
Demand for block space increases, right, as more people are come in to use it. And then
talking about Ethereum.
This is just a great chart. This is the first time we're showing it. It'll obviously be copied. But it also explains, as it explains ETH BTC, it also explains Bitcoin dominance entirely, right? So much like you would go from, as the business cycle accelerates, you would go from growth to value, right? Perhaps, or large cap into small cap equities, or investment grade bonds into high yield bonds, or cyclicals into defensives. Sorry, defensives into cyclicals. As the business cycle accelerates, confidence improves. As Main Street does better, earnings rise, and this increases risk appetite. So as per my previous example, if we just take small cap over large cap equities, investors begin to reach further out what we call, the crypto risk curve into smaller cap tokens and earlier stage products. And the opposite is also true. So if the ISM is in a situation where it's trending towards 60, Bitcoin dominance will fall.
It also explains why there is this phasing of the alt season that people don't yet understand. So people think, oh, the moment Bitcoin dominance drops, all my bag of shit alts are all going to rally. It doesn't work that way. It always goes into the next safest asset, which is ETH. we've had some new cycle plays, and we had the recovery of Solana, and then we've had Sui have been some of the dominant ones, Hyperliquid, a few others. But really what happens is it goes from Bitcoin to ETH into the other layer ones and larger projects. And then eventually, as Bitcoin dominance collapses and the ISM goes up, only then do you get the rest of it. It all lies ahead, and you're all getting frustrated, and you're getting frustrated because A, you've probably got the wrong allocation for this point in the cycle, or B, the ISM has been lower for longer, which is why we've not seen this yet. And that's why both Julian and I keep saying you've got to have patience. You only get one piece of economic data a month. This thing is not real time, but you're trading your shitcoin portfolio in real time. That's not how it works. So that's to bear in mind.
But what's important here is that if we look at our leads, right? So here, our GMI interest rate model, which is advanced by 6 months, ISM's heading higher. Financial conditions index, right? Which is the index I talked about earlier, right? A regression on commodity prices, interest rates, and the dollar higher, okay? On the basis that central banks, over 90% of central banks are cutting rates, right? Advanced by 9 months, right? Higher. And then when we lump, all of these together, we're in a situation where lead indicators of growth momentum are rising. And once again, yes, I'm the person who names these, and they're just the most ridiculous names ever. Whatever the GMI, central bank policy liquidity and leading indicators of growth momentum index. But the point is that you can see very clearly over the next 9 months, we're in a situation where the ISM, or the probability of the ISM rising, is a lot higher than falling, okay? Now,
this is why I don't get the recession talk. People are looking at present day, and the key, even Stan Druckenmiller talks about this, the key to macro, in fact, the key to all investing is to live in the future. So there is no evidence at all of a recession. All the evidence points to economic expansion. And people who are calling for recessions don't understand the business cycle and don't do the work on the business cycle. They just look around them today and say, well, things are sluggish. Look at unemployment. We see this all the time, and everybody is wrong with this. This is the framework we've used for literally, I've used 25 years of investing, 20 years of GMI. It's this stuff that matters.
I think the mistake, before we continue, that's happening here is if we just reference a data point I've seen floating around recently is heavy truck sales in the US. People are showing that in nominal index terms. But by definition, a business cycle is not a nominal index, not about the level of interest rates. It's not about the level of heavy truck sales. It's not about the level of building permits. It's about the rate of change in these inputs or these indices or whatever. And so when you take the year-on-year rate of change of heavy truck sales and you plot it versus the ISM, it lags the ISM by 5 months. Job openings in year-on-year terms are rising, right? But they also lag the ISM by a couple of months, right? So when people are showing new home sales in just nominal index terms without taking the year-on-year rate of change, by definition, they're not taking into account the business cycle, right? The acceleration and deceleration of data over time. So I think that's part of the confusion. Whereas here, the ISM is a diffusion index, which is why it works with all the year-on-year comps. So it's really about the year-on-year rate of change, because this is what markets price off of. If the economy was slowing, risk assets would not be repricing an ISM that is rising. EM equities would not be rising, right? None of this would be happening, is I think, the point. The next thing, as I said, Bitcoin is a macro asset, but something Raoul's talked about before is it's also a network value asset. Now, Raoul's going to go into the Metcalfe law stuff a little bit more later, but so if we think about this, Metcalfe's law is time, right? That's adoption, but the business cycle is the rate of adoption across the business cycle. So what I mean by that is as time goes on, right, as time passes, because Bitcoin is a network value asset and it's trading within a long regression channel, the more time extends, the the higher the price targets become. So here, if we're just looking into year end, let's say Bitcoin does nothing from here and just stays between the fair value, call it, and the -1 standard deviation oversold level, we basically will approach, let's say, 210,000, right? If we get to 1 standard deviation, it's 412,000. If we get to 2 standard deviations oversold, right, which has happened every other cycle in the past, we're looking at something, and I admit that green's a little bit hard to read. It's like 800,000, 805,000. But here's the thing, because we detrend Bitcoin and we know it's a function of the business cycle, now all of a sudden you can loosely infer levels of the ISM that would correspond with certain price targets within Bitcoin, right? So for Bitcoin to reach 210,000, as I had referenced before, that's equivalent to an ISM of 52, something like a 1 + 1 standard deviation, 57.6, that would be Bitcoin around 400,000. And then an ISM of, again, hard to see with the green, 63.3 would be Bitcoin at around 800,000, right? So you see, so as time goes on, the prices move higher. And because the ISM is confidence, earnings, the business cycle, everything else, then that all of a sudden accelerates the move. And where things get really interesting is here I've pushed out the targets another year to year end of 2026. And you can see just by way of this log regression channel and the passage of time, now the targets are higher. So ideally what you need for, let's say, Bitcoin to hit $700,000 in price is you would need the business cycle to extend to year end of next year, right? And the ISM to be strong, okay? But what we know right now is already our lead indicators are suggesting the ISM will be strong. And 9 months from now, we should be in a situation where the ISM is in its mid-50s as opposed to the current level of 48.7. So in a situation where the business cycle extends into 2026, how far, we don't know yet, but already this has us into Q2 of next year. So that's that passage of time plus the strength of the cycle. If we get to that 55, you have to think about higher price targets, okay? Now, the scarring here, I believe, comes from this 2020.
The scarring. Everybody is scarred because everyone has this framework that used to be around about the halving. Then it was like, and I still get the thing about the ETH blow off top that I was expecting last time around, didn't get. I didn't understand this then. It's the work that we've done subsequently. You've always got to go and do the work when you're wrong to understand, okay, why was I wrong and what is the key factors? And people are still so scarred by this that I think it's going to fuck up people, because if we're right, the cycle extends longer. And if we're right, prices go further than expected and it will not end this year. And I know everyone says, yeah, this time is different, sure. From all of the work that we do, probabilistically speaking, it's got an extremely high probability of going well into 2026.
And so I do want to reference that point to my guy. Let me see if I can find him. My guy. Let me see if I can find him. Right here. My guy, blockchain backer. Did he take it down? Like, what am I doing? And like he just that. I don't feel like that was a reply. 5 hours ago, he did a video, or uploaded it 5 hours ago. He's basically talking about people having a problem with him doing what he did. But maybe he took it down. I just literally read it. But anyway, I can't find it anymore, but I can't find it. I just read it. Like he essentially said, something to the effect of, it's amazing how many people are experts at knowing when I should um, get out of the market and hedge my bets and something along that. I don't know where it happened to that, but I just saw it, so I don't know when he actually said it, to be honest. Here it is. No, that's not it. Man, I don't know where it is. But he just said that. So, and what he was essentially saying is he's taking risk off, right? Taking risk off the table. I mean, he's taking risk off the table and letting the market play out. It's essentially what he's saying in so many ways. And what Raoul Pal is saying and what Julian Patel are saying is they don't believe all their stuff is pointing to the fact that the debt has rolled over and extended to a longer period of time, that we're not going to have the typical 4-year thing that happens because the debt has been extended. It's been rolled over. It's been extended out. So it's not 4 years, it's 5 years. And so this is what they're charting and all the different kind of stuff says that it's not going to happen, according to them, the typical end of this year, and then it's it. But they also said in that video that there should be some good stuff in November, December. Good stuff, October, November, December. But the business cycle is essentially extended out. But my point to this, Ro, or Sharon Rao, is did you watch it? The guy has the most successful financial newsletter in the history of financial newsletters on record as the most successful. I mean, I don't know if it's about getting it right all the time, but having a foundation from a global perspective is important. I would definitely listen to it. It's an hour and 17 minutes long. It's worth every bit of the wait. And, who knows? Listen to it 2 or 3 times to better understand. But for me, it said, it's saying just continue to hold on. Continue to hold on. People got stuff and obligations. Cool. Meet them. I've done it in the past. After the disaster with Celsius, I had to sell the XRP that I did not have on Celsius. I had to sell a good portion of that to do this, to do that, to do whatever. I had done what I've done, and there were other things that I need to do. So I did. So who knows what he's doing? But that's what it seems like to me. He's taking some risk off the table, letting the market play out. See what he's probably saying. I'm gonna take some off the table and see if we have a 4-year cycle or no. I still got 60. Still got 60. Well, we took a third out, right? So whatever is left after that, I still got 2/3 left to see if it does do a certain kind of thing. I'm not sure why people have a problem with some dude making a decision to do something what he thinks is best for him and his family. I'm confused by that one. But highly recommend you check that video out. Highly recommend. It's Raoul Pal, the Journeyman's YouTube channel. It's only an hour and 17 minutes long. I mean, that's why we're here, Keyless. We're here to be on the journey of becoming a sophisticated investor. Why would we not learn from that dude, Julian Patel? I'm just going to tell you, that dude is smart. That dude, Julian Patel, is smart. Yeah. When you're that smart, you have to really emphasize smart so people understand how smart that dude is. Good night. Smart guy. Smart guy. And Raoul, how about Raoul blessing us every regular folks with all this knowledge? I mean, this is game right here. You want to talk about alpha? This guy's sharing this stuff to us, regular Joes. This stuff is typically reserved for the elites of the elites, man. I mean, take it in. Apply the principle of discernment. See if it makes sense to you. Let's go on the journey of becoming a sophisticated investor together. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So I'm gonna hop off here and just a few. I wanted to share this again with you guys so that you know Yeah. Let me share this. My guy, he calls himself Bill, the GPS, the financial GPS guy. So he's gonna hop on. We're gonna interview him. We're gonna get to know him a little bit on the 1st at 6 p.m. Central. I'm gonna give you this link here so you can come hang out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's there. So here's the link right here. It'll be right here in the description, right underneath. Thanks for watching the channel. So after that, go all the way down to thanks for watching the channel. Old Money merch. If you want to grab some of that. And debt and interest eliminator technology. It's awesome. I'm telling you. Love it. Click here to learn more. There's a link right there. Right. We're going to come hang out. You can register. It's going to take you to this right here. Okay. It's important that we look. I've done the homework. I've done the research. I know the situations with debt. It's bad. Right. So it's going to take you to this first name, last name, email, phone number. I'll get that information. We're going to hang out, do a live stream. My typical live stream, well, almost like my typical live stream, except this is only going to be about like 30 minutes. So it's going to be about 30 minutes. So, and you'll get to, meet the guy, meet one of the dudes there. I met the CEO and the founders. Okay. This is another guy, but he's been with them for a minute, as the kids like to say. And, get to know him a little bit. And we might do a little question and answer after. I don't know. But most likely we'll just get to know him a little bit, why he decided to team up with them, how long he's been doing it, how it's helped him, that kind of stuff like that. A little interview. He's probably going to do a little demo of the technology and how it works. It's awesome. And then we'll kind of go from there. So, check the link if you want to learn more about it. It's in the description of the live stream. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, really excited about it for sure. Keela says, I'm hoping to get some of my XRP back through DeFi, the ones I sold for profit. I hear you. I hear you. Now, I split up a little FXRP, initial, kinetic initial, and then FXRP liquidity pool. Those are my deals there. For me, it's two things. The rewards I'm getting, for me, it's going to outpace the whole FXRP thing, if you understand. Right? There's stuff that can 3 to 5x, and there's stuff that can 10 to 20x. If you right? If you understand how the path to all seasons work. So for me, it's worth it. Being liquidity pools for sure. And I'm helping to, support the ecosystem, being, lending on Kinetic, providing liquidity on SparkDex. This is helping the whole ecosystem churn, helping that flywheel churn. A small amount, right? For me, small amount, $100 here, $100 there, right? And I missed the FlameX lending FLR and FlameX, the first phase thing. I missed it. Bummer. But phase 2 is live now. So hopefully, if I remember, I'll provide collateral because I'm not a perps guy. I don't understand perps enough. So I'm probably going to just provide collateral for people to do the perp stuff. Okay, that's what I'm doing. A little bit of the FLR in there as well. But let me see. Well, let me check Illuminati here real quick for you guys because I mentioned a little one-click deal. Let me find it. LUMINIT for staking the FXRP. I'm pretty sure they posted. Illuminati posted. Yep. Just note that's the 17th. What is going on here? Wow. Well, I don't know what's going on. Let me check something. Everything seems to not be current. Lend and Borrow is live on Luminite, which is good. Yep, there it is. All right, let me share this real quick. Goodness gracious. I did save it. All right. Oh, no. Hold on. All right. All right. So it says right here, the Luminite wallet, C phrase less thing, where you can go there and use Google and Apple to create a wallet. You don't have to use the C phrase less feature. Convert XRP direct to FXRP directly inside Luminite in just one click. The two-way bridge unlocks the full cycle. Bring your XRP into Flare's DeFi world as XFRP. Send it back to the original non-EVM form anytime. Follow the steps. Enter the bridge. Choose F assets. Click the reverse to switch the route to FXRP to XRP. Enter the lot in XRP that you want to switch back. Initiate and wait for the transaction to execute. So it's one step in and one step kind of out type of deal. So that's pretty cool. And then the other news, kinetic markets, both lend and borrow functions are fully live on Luminite. You can now borrow FXRP and USDT 0 directly from the supplies on kinetic markets seamlessly with Luminite. Access the full market suite and manage it all in one place safely and securely at luminite.app. Making things simpler and easier for the end user, which is us, is what Flare Network is building out, and I love that. All right, so let me see here what I got going on. Why is that doing that? I don't know why this thing does that sometimes. Escape. I don't know why it's doing it. Anyway, I don't know why it's doing that. But so there it is. I wanted to share that with you guys. Appreciate you guys checking in. For sure. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to do it on the way in. I'm gonna hop off here. Been over an hour. I wanted to kind of share some thoughts and listen to Hugo's thoughts, and come to your own conclusion. Again, the documents are available to you to read on your own. Midas.app. You go to Docs. It's right there for you. Midas.apps. Go to Docs. Make sure you read the legal risk, the disclaimers, the terms and conditions, the prospectus, all there for you to come to your own conclusion. Use ChatGPT 5 to help you in your thought process and kind of make your own decision from there. For me, I'm not playing around with it at all. No way, Jose. And vaults are coming. A Flare eventually. I imagine they're going to come when we get the protocol managed wallets. But in any case, I'm going to be doing my own DeFi. I'm going to be getting my own, but again, Hugo is not going to bring up no licenses and bring up not regulated, and then come up with some vault structure that does the same thing that he was just calling out. That's not going to make any sense. So my guess is it's going to be regulated. He says it's big time players, which to me speaks to regulations and licenses. It's going to be a different product, for sure. And again, mXRP is not a liquid staking token, and it's not a yield bearing token. Do your homework, understand the truth, and then plan accordingly. Once you know, you know. All right, fam. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. Big time. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. That'd be super, super cool if you can do that. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Siege, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.